everybody. This is Ramiz Saad. Ramiz the biochemist. That's what's the name of my YouTube channel. I was asked by Mr. Lalit for Diabetic Canada to make a video about the importance of magnesium as an element. As you know, magnesium is one of the most deficient element known to human being. Why is that? Some people ask me, why is magnesium so deficient? There's so many reasons. The first is we don't eat enough vegetables and greens to have enough magnesium. As you know, that the chlorophyll or anything green must have high level of magnesium. That's why, you know, magnesium is the key when you eat like green and salad or vegetables. What's the symptoms of magnesium deficiency? First, you notice all the time is muscle pain. You always see like people who are deficient in magnesium, they always complain that they cannot sleep at night, and this is due to magnesium deficiency. Sometimes inflammation can really has a bad effect on magnesium absorption. Plus, magnesium deficiency can cause constipation. Then lots of people, they always sometimes they are constipated, they cannot go to the washroom easily, and you hear like sometimes I hear from people like some bodies like stay for like a week or 10 days, you know, without going to the bathroom. And this is really bad because most of the toxins is reabsorbed if you are not eliminating. Then magnesium play a big role into constipation. Also fatigue play a big role if you are deficient on magnesium. If you take the ATP, which they call it adenine triphosphate, which is the currency of the energy for the human being, then when you go out you have the currency with the dollar. If you are in Egypt, you have the currency of the Egyptian pounds. But the currency for our body to do any exercise or anything like that is ATP, which is adenine triphosphate. Magnesium is a key element with iron and copper and coenzyme 10 for producing an energy to the human being. Okay, then if I am deficient, what shall I do? You know, like what do you tell me like to do to increase the magnesium? There is so many things you can do which really you feel the difference. I like the most is the Epsom salt, which is the salt which you can buy it from any drugstore, which they call it Epsom salt. And Epsom salt is it's part of magnesium sulphate. Then you catch two birds with one stone, because it will increase your magnesium level and it will increase your sulfur level as well. Then you can, it's very good for diabetic as well, because diabetic people, we know insulin is like a sulfur bridge. Okay, then most of the people who have diabetes, they don't have enough sulfur, and this is the key for the pro-insulin. What means pro-insulin? The body to produce insulin, they have to go through pro-insulin, which pro-insulin needs sulfur, okay, which they call it the sulfur bridge or the sulfur bond. Okay, then Epsom salt is very important. The body, the muscles of the body react like this: calcium, magnesium, calcium, magnesium. Look at my fingers. Calcium, magnesium. Then when the muscle, you know, contract, this is a calcium. When it expands, this is a magnesium. Then if you don't have enough magnesium, then your muscle is like this: calcium, magnesium. You see how slowly my finger is? And this is very, very key for like all the muscles of the body. Like the heart is a muscle, like your muscle is a muscle. Then it's very, very key to have enough magnesium into the body. As you know, you all know me that I do hair analysis, and from the hair I can see if you are deficient on magnesium or calcium, strontium, or any element, or selenium. That's why, I advise you, if you can, do hair analysis, because at the same time we know that magnesium interfere with toxins. Then there are some toxins like arsenic, okay, which it can affect, deplete the magnesium. Then if you eat some rice is known to be high in arsenic, especially some rice from Bangladesh, from China, from other area around the world. They have plenty of arsenic, and I see this all the time in the hair of the people. See high level of arsenic and low level of magnesium. That's why this arsenic, it hinders the absorption of magnesium. That's why it's very, very important, if you want to make a detoxification, you increase the amount of magnesium. Always check with your doctor, because I'm not a doctor, I'm a biochemist, but I'm just giving you hints of what you're supposed to do. Then when you go to your family doctor, you can explain to him what your symptoms is, and then you can see what he can advise you. Mind you, like lots of doctors, they are really not into nutrition, but into right prescription, which is fine with me. But I'm just saying, you can say that maybe you have magnesium deficiency. Aluminum is another bad element which affect the absorption of magnesium. As you know, aluminum everywhere in our life. You go into aluminum pots and pans. You look at aluminum heater when you make a coffee or tea, it's loaded. You look at tomato paste, it's always in aluminum can. Anything is now made in aluminum. As a matter of fact, a big company which makes nice coffee in Canada, I won't mention the company, when they keep the coffee, it's amazing. When I open the coffee, if you buy the coffee tank they give to people, when you open it, it's made of aluminum inside. Then you put coffee which is acidic into aluminum to keep it hot all the time. This is not right, my friend. Okay, then really aluminum is a very, very dangerous, and we see it in lots of vaccine. We see it in lots of people talking about aluminum and Alzheimer's disease, and because aluminum is so easy to go into the brain, okay, because the brain barrier allows the aluminum to go inside. Then really, by increasing the amount of magnesium, and that's why the Chinese are very smart, okay, they eat rice, but as you see, they eat very, very small amount of rice with lots of vegetables, because they know that rice might have some arsenic, but the lots of vegetables has lots of magnesium. That's why they don't let the arsenic to go into the tissue, and that's why they deplete it right away by eating vegetables, and by getting rid of the aluminum or of the arsenic. Okay, then how much magnesium the body needs every day? The body needs 600 milligrams per day of magnesium. What's the secret of magnesium really as a chemist or biochemist? Magnesium is a double valent positive. what's that mean? Like magnesium, you see it like plus plus. Okay, what what's that mean? It's very very important. It's reducing agent. There is something called oxidizing agent, something called reducing agent. That's why we called iron is oxidizing agent, oxidize. That's why if you leave iron, metal into like outside, it will rust. Why it rust? Because it's oxidizing agent. But the good thing, have you ever seen a tree rust? No, because tree or has lots of magnesium, because this is part of the chlorophyll. Okay, because of magnesium has a double positive charge. Okay, we said that DNA, it has lots of magnesium. That's why there's something called DNA polymerase, which is a really key, for the enzymes, because magnesium activates so many enzymes in our body. As you see here, this is like a page I want to show you. See here, magnesium in the middle, which allow the calcium, to go inside, and the potassium to go. And here is where the magnesium is, attached to 2 amino acid. Then magnesium is the key element for the human body. Okay? Plus magnesium is not always like inside the cell. It can be inside the cell or outside the cell. As you see here, magnesium can be intracellular or extracellular. As you know, and I always talk about this, that the body needs 90 mineral and 90 essential nutrients all the time. 60 of this 90 is minerals, and 16 is essential vitamin, 12 is essential amino acid, and 3 is essential fatty acid. If you total all this is 90. But 60 of them, which is 2/3 of the minerals you need, is a mineral, which is magnesium is top one, because this is where the engine needs all this mineral to be working. Okay. One of the book which I really advise anybody to read is this book here, which they call it the miracle of magnesium, by Caroline Dean, which is really really a great book about how important magnesium is, and how is magnesium as it's a miracle element for the human body. Was really nice choice for the Diabetic Association to let me talk about magnesium. And as you know, that all the greens has magnesium, which is really, the green has like lots of protein as well. Spinach, for example, has lots of magnesium, plus have lots of protein. Cauliflower, cucumbers, green pepper, mushrooms, kale, broccoli, parsley, cabbage, all this. Almond is very very high on magnesium as well, but you have to make sure if you are sensitive to almond or not, because some people are sensitive to almond. Then it's really very important to make sure that you are not magnesium deficient, because like I said, it goes into like lots of things into the human cell. This is the picture of the cell. Okay, and if you look inside, you will see that the ribosomes, where it makes protein, must have magnesium. Then you cannot make protein is good if you are deficient on magnesium, because ribosomes, if you go really deep into science, you see that ribosomes is two particle, one big, one small, which protein get created in between. And this ribosome and this ribosome are made of protein. Okay, if this protein are sick, then you are not producing the right protein. That's why really very, very critical to have the right minerals all the time for diabetic, non-diabetic, like anybody. Okay, you must make sure that you are not deficient in minerals. That's why I always advise one test you have to do, which is so key and so critical, is hair tissue mineral analysis, because it shows you where you are standing. Are you high in arsenic? Are you high in aluminum? Okay, then what do you do? Are you low in magnesium? What do you do? Are you low in selenium? What do you do? Are you low in zinc? What do you do? All this is a very, very key. That's why now with Avazera company, which I work as a scientific advisor for them, we created a program which can really, after you do hair analysis, you have a paper show you exactly what you're supposed to do, what things you're supposed to avoid. And because you have to avoid things before it goes into the body, and then after that you try to get it out. First, you have to avoid it first from getting inside your body, and if you still have some, you have to know what to eat to get this toxins out of the body. Okay, I'm so glad that I'm talking about magnesium, as like magnesium is everywhere. Like I'm really so fascinated with that element, because even without the green and without the photosynthesis, like we cannot be live on that earth. Okay, that's why it's very, very critical, because if you are low in magnesium, that means you can be really having some insulin resistance. Because what's insulin resistance is that the body cannot allow the sugar to go inside the human cell. Okay, that's why you have to make sure that to adjust your your body. As I told you before, the company really depleted our flour and our sugar from minerals. They depleted it, and that's why I analyze all sugar, 7 kinds of sugar powder, everything in the lab. I've never seen 1 part per million of magnesium in it. Okay, that's why I don't know if they did that on purpose or not, but really I cannot really say. But really, if you look at the flour, okay, and the sugar, is all none of the mineral. That's why when you eat all this, it's highly glycemic, and that's why your sugar level goes really, really high, because you don't have all this mineral which is really affecting your enzyme. Because if you don't have enzyme, you don't have anything. What this enzyme is, to quick for people who don't know what enzyme is something which works as a catalyst, which help you, for a function inside the human body. Then if you don't have this catalyst, which is this magnesium, okay, or this selenium, or this zinc, you don't have the catalytic converter which convert food into energy. Okay, then you must have all this, and you must have it inside the cell, not outside the cell. Because if all this cannot enter inside the cell, how is going to be your ATP? How is the ribosome is going to work? How is the nucleus is going to work? How is the lysosome is going to work? How is the cytosome and cytoplasm is going to work? You have to study the cell. If you study the cell and you know how is the cell function, you know everything about the human body. That's why, really, thank goodness that I start talking to you about magnesium, but I hope one other day I can take one element, but it will take me 2 months, because there's 60 essential elements, which I think is very, very key for diabetes, especially I'm talking to people who is interested on type 2 diabetes, and that's why like magnesium is one of the key elements. I hope if you have any question, please write it to me at the bottom of this video tape, and I will answer it as soon as I can. Okay, I hope you like this video. If you like it, please share it and like it and subscribe it. And thanks very much. Ramiz Saad, a biochemist from Toronto, Canada.